Look around you. Notice how everything has changed. There was a time when work was done by hands, when sweat meant progress, when effort meant movement. But today, most of the work is done by the mind. And yet, most minds are not controlled. They are occupied, hijacked, distracted. We scroll more than we think. We react more than we choose. We consume more than we create. And here's the truth no one wants to admit. You don't get controlled by people. You get controlled by your own untrained mind. The world runs on one simple divide: 3% who control their minds, and 97% who are controlled by them. The question isn't whether you belong to one group. The question is, which one are you choosing every single day? Most people wake up not because they choose to, but because the alarm forces them. They reach for their phone before they reach for their breath. They check what the world thinks before asking how they feel. They rush through jobs they hate, conversations they don't care about, dreams they've already given up on. And they call this normal. But normal isn't control. Normal is conditioning. Psychologists call it autopilot, a state where your brain runs on patterns instead of purpose. You don't decide your habits decide you. And the scary part? You can live an entire lifetime thinking you're making choices, when in reality, you're just obeying impulses. Inside your skull exists a battlefield. One side wants comfort, sleep, ease, pleasure. The other wants growth, discipline, progress, purpose. One voice says, just one more episode. The other whispers, get up. You said you'd change. Success is not about talent. It's not about luck. It's not about privilege. It is about which voice you obey. The disciplined mind doesn't feel good. It feels heavy. It feels uncomfortable. But comfort destroys potential, and discomfort builds kings. You cannot control people. You cannot control outcomes. You cannot control chaos. But you can control your response. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That strength? That is leadership, not leadership over others, but over yourself. And the most dangerous person in the room is the one who has mastered their own mind. The 3% wake up when they don't feel like it. They work when motivation disappears. They sit with boredom while others seek escape. They don't look for shortcuts. They build systems, fixed routines, clear thinking, intentional silence, strategic isolation. They choose growth over comfort, silence over noise, control over chaos. The 97%, they wait to feel ready. They wait for confidence. They wait for motivation. And while they wait, life passes them by. You think you're free, but check your screen time. Check your sleeping pattern. Check your attention span. If your mood depends on likes, if your focus collapses without entertainment, if silence scares you, you're not free. You're programmed. Your mind isn't yours anymore. It belongs to dopamine. And a mind addicted to pleasure will never build power. Carl Jung warned, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Self-awareness is painful because you begin to see your excuses, your laziness, your patterns. But awareness is where control begins, not with motivation, not with quotes, but with brutal honesty. You sit there at night, phone in hand, promises made earlier broken again. You told yourself, tomorrow I'll start, next week I'll change, next month I'll focus. But tomorrow keeps moving. The week becomes months, and months become years. And one day you wake up and realize you didn't fail. You just never decided. Buried. You sit there at night, phone in hand, promises made earlier broken again. You told yourself, tomorrow I'll start, next week I'll change, next month I'll focus. But tomorrow keeps moving. The week becomes months, and months become years. And one day you wake up and realize you didn't fail. You just never decided. Barry, the strongest people are not loud. They are consistent. They don't talk motivation. They move in silence. They understand. You don't need inspiration. You need command. Command over your sleep. Command over your thoughts. Command over your reactions. Because whoever controls the mind controls the direction of life. Right now, as you listen, which side are you on? The 3% or the 97? Are you led by impulse or driven by intention? You will answer not with words, but with your habits, your consistency, your resistance to comfort, not tomorrow, today. Control doesn't happen overnight. It happens in moments no one sees. When you wake up early, when you say no to distraction, when you choose discipline over desire. That is where leaders are born. Not on stage, not in applause, but in silence, in struggle, in self-command. You cannot control the world, but you can control the mind that faces it. When you do, you don't just become successful, you become dangerous in the best way possible. A mind that cannot be shaken, a soul that cannot be enslaved, a human who has chosen to rise. So, decide. Are you part of the controlled or the controllers?